All right. Here we go. Just making sure we're up. Oh. All right. Thank you everyone for joining us again for another edition of our Friday deep dive into some of our favorite gear. And thank you so much for joining us. We started doing these each week during because of the coronavirus pandemic and because our shop is closed. So we know that they've become super popular, so we've just kept doing them. And we thought that we would continue on now, even though we're in our second phase of reopening and we're able to start having people in the shop here and there and by appointment. So we just love sharing our gear with you guys. So the main goal of these gear deep dives is to highlight a product or a piece of equipment that we carry in the shop and that we use personally regularly when we dive that might be overlooked sometimes by a casual shopper or by somebody who's looking for something else that's very specific. So this gives us a chance to showcase some of these products, show you how they work, tell you a bit about them, why we love them, what sets them apart, and why and how they can improve your time in the water and sometimes even make you a better diver. So we love running these because they give us an opportunity to answer your questions in real time, like a face-to-face encounter in the shop would. So you can ask any question that you have. We'll go ahead and answer them as we go through. And since we think that we will likely be continuing social distancing for the foreseeable future, it's a safer way for us to answer your questions. So we will continue to answer questions in the comments of this video, even after the video ends. But in the meantime, go ahead and shoot us any questions that you have, and we will be happy to answer them. So for those of you who already own this product, go ahead and share your experiences. If you love it, if there's something you have a question about, go ahead and ask us any of your questions as well. So let's get going with this week's featured item, the BigBlue Dive Lights. And I will pass it off to Jeff now.
Awesome. Thank you, Christina. So yeah, like Christina said, this week we're going to be talking about our favorite dive lights out there on the market. All of us here at the shop and the instructors that work with us use these lights, and yeah, they've become a great companion underwater. So BigBlue is a company that came onto the market in around 2007. They're based out of Florida, and they've had some really good success both in the recreational world of diving and technical and cave world of diving. Everybody is adapting them, or adopting them, I should say, into their repertoire of scuba gear. And what we're going to do today is talk about some of the most popular ones that we have at the shop, and then why people keep coming back to get more lights if they want to increase the luminosity that they have underwater, or just are interested in different options that are out there. So the first light that we're going to be talking about from BigBlue is this one here. This is the AL250. Now, the cool thing about all of the terminology that BigBlue uses is that you can really easily figure out more about the light just from the name of the light. So this one being AL means it's made out of aluminum. So the entire housing here is solid aluminum, which is really nice. They take a beating. You can drop them on the dive boat. You can, use them day-to-day life, and they're really going to be quite durable. You can see that they have a double O-ring system, as most lights do, to make sure that it is waterproof at depth. And all of the lights that we're going to be showing you today have this system. But yeah, all aluminum there. This one just takes 2 AA batteries, and it's a really simple turn on by tightening the top portion of the light here, the light head, onto the body, and that's going to create a nice bright beam of 250 lumens. So we have AL250, so aluminum 250, and that is the brightness, or the lumens of that light. This is a great backup dive light. In some senses, it can also be a primary light, depending on how well you see at night, or if you're just using it for daytime, just peek underneath a coral edge or look into a porthole of a wreck. Next light we're going to be showing you is their flagship light. This is the AL1200 NP. So AL aluminum, all aluminum housing, 1200, maximum brightness of 1200 lumens. N means that it's narrow, and this refers to the LED, the actual light head itself. Is going to create a narrow beam as opposed to a beam that has a wider degree of reach. This is going to be a much more valuable light to anybody who's not taking photos or videos. You're going to want a nice penetrating beam to go through the darkness of the dive, or to even go through, like I said earlier, into a shipwreck. Now, the P refers to this button here. So this is where you turn the light on by pushing it. So if we go ahead and push that, we can see that we have, obviously it's on, full blast, 1200 lumens. And we have a slight color here. This blue indicates that it is fully charged. For all of the lights that have the push button feature, around it you have a color glow that indicates the battery level. So it goes blue, green, red, and then it will flash. Obviously, if it gets into the red, you're going to need to charge it before use. The other cool thing about the lights with the push is that you have different levels of brightness depending on what you need. So every time you press the button, it's going to go down. I can show you on the back wall here. It's going to go down by 25% until you have it off. So I really like this light because I don't need 1200 lumens all the time, but I can get it down to 75% less just by pressing that button a few times. And then, like a lot of them, if you press and hold it, it will go into an SOS signal in case you needed to alert somebody of your presence. So another great option here. This is the AL1200NP. And this one is also different from the 250 because this has a rechargeable lithium-ion battery. So another reason why we like these lights. Inside here, there's a battery that comes with it. You can get extra batteries if you always want to have a full one ready to go, and it makes for a really, really great light. Now, with the fact that you can reduce the brightness of these lights, you can get really, really long burn times on the batteries. So we have upwards of around 12 hours on the lowest setting for this light. So definitely more than the average dive trip worth of night dives if you're only using a light on night dives. We do sometimes use them during the day, but for most folks are going to be using them primarily at night. Another cool feature of this light is, like I mentioned, this one here is the narrow beam. If you want to use a GoPro or a point and shoot camera underwater and you're looking to get a video light, you can replace this light head with a light head that has a wider angle. So as the LED, you can barely see it in there, but as the actual LED gets closer to the top portion of the light head, the beam angle is going to get wider. And this is also going to prevent that hot spot that can sometimes show up in these style lights, which doesn't really look good for videos or photos. So to get around that, you have the same light, you're just replacing the light head, and now you have a video light, which is pretty cool. Alrighty, so the next one we have is same internal structure as the previous one, but this one has a changeable focus feature. So as you twist the light head away, it increases in size a little bit, and this is going to change the beam angle as if you're changing the light head on the other one. So you can kind of see it behind me. Right now it's in the most narrow beam, and as I increase the angle, we have a slightly wider beam, which is really cool because you have essentially multiple dive lights in one just with this one light. All right, moving on from specifically the recreational style lights that most divers get, I do want to mention that our most popular combo of lights is both of these together. So you can get both of the AL250 and the AL1200 together in a package. You save around $30, and it's a really great deal. It comes out to both of them right around $185 for two really well-made, long-lasting dive lights. Alrighty, so our next light here is actually attached to one of their camera trays. This one specifically for the GoPro. And the light itself, obviously it's a nice bright pink color, but the other thing that you may notice that's different in here is there's many LEDs, trying to get the angle here, right? There's many LEDs in the actual light itself. So we have smaller ones along the center, 2 red ones up at the top, and then in the middle, we essentially have a 1200 built right in. So this is really, really cool. I'll try to get this to show up what this does. So this is the VL, or Video Light 2600. So a video light with up to 2,600 lumens available to you. And again, you can reduce that by 25% every time you press the button. Now, what makes this the video light? Well, the main thing for this one is, if I can get that going, the main one is it's immediately going to be a wide angle when you turn it on. This is those LEDs that are around the perimeter of the light head. And these LEDs do not create any hot spots, so it's really great to capture footage, video, or photography, still images. You're not going to have any hot spots in the video. And the other thing is, if you press it twice, you get a red light. So great for some nocturnal videography. You're not going to be disturbing the animals that you come across. And then if we have in the center, we have that 1200 again. So a normal dive light right in the middle. Alrighty. Cool. So that will bring us to our last light that we'll talk about. And BigBlue has so many lights out there, we can't possibly, carry all of them, but we can order any of the ones that you're interested in. So after this, if there's a light that you've really been interested in, or there's a product that you see on their website that you're curious about, definitely let us know. We can certainly bring it in. Things are just taking a few days now. Like I said, the company is based out of Florida, Clearwater, Florida, so things get up here pretty quickly. Alrighty, when you get into some of their fancier lights, they're all coming with really nice, high-quality dry bags now, which is really cool. So buy a light, get a dry bag, and it's a perfect size for the boats. Alrighty, so inside here we have the brightest light that we are currently carrying, and this is the TL3500P. So VL, video light, AL, aluminum, referring to just the housing. This one, TL, tech light. So this one is specifically meant for technical diving, cave diving, where you need a greater beam penetrating strength. Now, we look into the light head here, and we see essentially 3 LEDs. This is pretty much 3 1200s built together, and we're going to get incredible power from this. The P refers to, again, how you turn on and off the light. And we have, turn on, there we go. And we can go down in brightness just by pressing that button. So super bright, and it's all in one. Now this is going to be a slightly different lithium ion battery. It's a much more powerful battery, but we're going to get, dozens of hours of burn time out of this battery, which is pretty cool. So they have lights for, we carry all of the lights that they do. We can order in the ones that we don't regularly stock. And whether it's photography, videography, you're a newer diver looking for your first light set to go underwater, you're taking a night diver course, or you're doing deeper technical dives or cave dives, BigBlue has a light for you. And again, we can get those in really, really easily. Yeah, so that's pretty much everything I wanted to quickly cover with the lights. They also have another series which we don't have an example of at the moment, called the VTL series, and this is a video tech light. So you get best of both worlds. You have the perimeter, the circumference organization of the LEDs for the nice wide beam angles for your video light, and then you also have a nice powerful tech light in the middle. So that's why it's video tech light. So best of both uses.
Awesome, Jeff. Thank you so much. I love my BigBlue lights. They're my absolute favorite. I've been diving with them since I started diving. And now that I'm starting to look into getting my own camera set up and looking towards tech diving in the future, it's really awesome to know that I can use the same products that I'm comfortable with and that I know about and that I'm super familiar with as I start to expand my diving too. So
it's kind of funny. It's hard to stress how important a nice metal light is, not a plastic light, one that doesn't have a little cheap switch or anything like that, because we are inevitably hard on our gear, even if we're trying to baby it and be really gentle with it. Accidents happen, things drop. So it's nice to know that your dive light is going to survive that.
Yeah. I think I left that one specifically I carry my lights in a Pelican case when I travel, and I left it in my Pelican case that had gotten water in it. And so it just sat in a puddle of salty water for like a week and a half, and it works just fine to this day. So yeah, they're super, super durable. They hold up to Christina, so they should hold up to most people. So, all right. Do we have any other questions from anybody who's followed along? We're more than happy to answer any questions right now, or if you just shoot us an email at info@blueplanetdc.com. We love to talk about all of these things, so we are very willing to chat about them here or over email. So I don't think we have any yet that I'm seeing.
All right, no worries. Yeah, we'll, like Christina said, we'll monitor this chat and then also email, obviously, like normal. So feel free
all right.
To shout out.
So thank you, everyone, for joining us. We really appreciate it. We love sharing the gear with you. We love all of our customers for joining us. And we wanted to let you guys know that coming up from July 2nd through the 7th, there will be a 20% discount on all BigBlue Lights. We will be sending out a discount code for that, and we will be sharing it through our email if you are a subscriber, as well as online. So keep an eye out for that if you're looking to get any of your own BigBlue Lights in the coming weeks. So, all right. Thank you, everyone, for joining us.
All righty. Thank you very much.
Bye, Jeff.